Hello, welcome to my garden here in Denmark. It's the 2nd of June and the alliums are looking great. There are some other plants here that are looking great as well. So let's take a tour around the garden. Yeah, and as you can see right here, the bees, they really like these alliums. Now these alliums are in full bloom. And the easiest way to recognize that is when the bees start to find their nectar there. Also looking great right here. This is where my roses are coming up. I keep the legs of the roses covered with these geraniums. But right now you can mostly see geraniums. But the roses are not far away. I trimmed my roses back quite a lot this year and a bit late, but this rose should take over this space. And yeah, other plants that are looking great. What's this called? It's called Geum Totally Tangerine, and that is looking great as well. That flowers for quite a long time, and if you cut the flower stems back, it will rebloom. Also right here, Nepeta Walker Slow. Do notice that if you have really good soil, and I've quite often mulched here with something that will contain a strong fertilizer as well, horse manure, and hence they become taller than you would expect. And yeah, let's not forget about this one. This is Peony Bowl of Beauty. People say that it's able to hold itself up and doesn't need any support, but as you can see, I have this one supported, and I use these supports that will rust, and I have 3 of those in there. And I think the positive thing about those is that you can't see them that well. They sort of blend in. And yeah, just a lot of these alliums going strong right here. They carry this garden through May. That's basically what they are here for, May and June. Right where you have this, you often have a gap here, right? Also, yeah, this lupin is looking really great, but I have lost quite a lot of lupins this year to the wet winter. Also, my delphiniums have disappeared this winter due to the wet, and my Agastache black adder didn't make it either. Yeah, Jacob's ladder, that's also looking really good, right? Yeah, I think the 2 fighter jets are now far enough away. So there was a cut here, and yeah, we had 2 airplanes coming over. And yeah, just look at this other side of the border as well. Looking quite good already. Again, it is the alliums that are currently carrying this border as well. You will see here in the middle border, I don't have any alliums in flower, at least in this part of it, and that's because I am gonna turn this part of it into grass again. And these plants will all be moved out of here, and hence I wanted the alliums that are in there to conserve the energy, so I removed their flowers quite early. And coming up on another peony. This is not Bowl of Beauty. You can see it doesn't have the same amount of, are they called stamens, in the middle of the flower. But this is also, I actually like this variety. Should also be able to stand up on its own, but in my experience it falls over, so it flops. Again, I only have 1 support in there though, so not as bad as the other ones, but of course the other ones were a bigger portion of plants, right? And yeah, again on the other side, I have this, yeah, let's call it a pond in here, and it is just covered up in plants at this point in time, right? I have it here for the wildlife, and also I enjoy how it looks as well. And this part of the garden is becoming quite good right now. Yeah, in there, yeah, in Danish it's called a copper rose. I should really check out what that is called in English. That will become a really, really nice feature plant in there, I think. It only flowers once, but you have it for the foliage, which has this copper hue to it. And yeah, the flowers are quite nice as well, but only flowers for a short duration. But it will set seeds, so it has some interest in fall as well. Yeah, this border over here, I told you last time that I thought it was fine and that I wasn't gonna do anything about anything in here, even though it did look kind of wild. But I've come to a different conclusion, and that is because I have a plant in here. In there, I don't know what is that called in English. In Danish, it's called a, yeah, directly translated a turning plant, dreje. Yeah, so it's actually a nice looking plant, and it will flower later in fall. But the issue is that it runs by the root. You can see it is spreading in there. Also, if you notice, all the way out here, right here, that is that same plant. So it has a root shoot going all the way. That's 2 meters. Yeah, that is 2 meters in, I don't think it was there last season, so that's, it probably was underground, right? But that is just a little bit too much for me. And again, these alliums. But yeah, getting back on point, I am gonna remove this plant completely. I'm gonna dig it out, and I can't have a plant that runs so fast by the root in here. If it was less, it would be okay, but that is just too much. Yeah, in there some rather newly established plants. I am gonna see how that turns out over the season. The ferns in there are new. And yeah, also in the garden, red valerian. I think it's called valerian, right? That is a really, really nice looking plant. Also, we have a moth here in Denmark that is actually active during the day, and it can stand still in mid-air and looks, it is a really funny one, because we don't have any what are they called, hummingbirds here in Europe, and I think that moth is probably what looks the part, I could say. Yeah, again, with the allium bees just going crazy. That is a nice looking view as well with this water feature. Also, the elder is about to bloom. Give that a week and that will be in full bloom. That will be really, I think that will look really, really good. Yeah, and again, with the red valerian under that tree. And on this other side, I believe that is geranium and Thompson. And that is just looking great, right? And also right here I have, well, they are at the very end of their flowering, but that is Iris siberica. And I cannot remember the variety, but I can put that in. And oh yeah, and down here it looks almost like geranium and Thompson, right? But this is geranium and Folkart. A little bit of a more yellowish leaf on this one, and also it will sort of weave itself through while and Thompson will create a mound. So the behavior of the two is quite different, even though the flowers look alike. Yeah, let's just stay with the Iris siberica, right? Oh, again, yeah, again I should have cleaned this one up a little bit. But this is actually a really nice looking plant as well, if I can get the camera to focus on it. That is also Iris siberica, looking great. And another again a totally different style, but also Iris Siberica in there, and that is looking great. The rose is about to bloom. I think this geranium is just not a good match here. On the sunny side it gets too large, and on the shady side it disappears totally. So I think I'm gonna remove these and take a couple of geraniums from the border that I am removing and replant those here. Yeah, the other side, that is actually looking quite great. You'll notice I had a bare spot here, right, and I've put in some dead nettles, and I think these will slowly take over this space. It is sort of dry right there, so I think they will do great. Overall, this border is looking great. I have a hydrangea in there, a normal mophead. I think it's called All Summer Long, and again this year it has frozen completely to the ground, and it will just take too long to get its foliage up and ready. So that one I will replace with something else this year. Beauty bush. Yeah, correctly named, right? That is a great looking plant, and of course the bees really like that one as well. And this will become quite a lot taller than it is already. It will hide the roof of the neighbor's house, at least right here. That will become really tall. Also in here, this, oh, what is it called? I can't remember, but the plant with the hemp-like foliage and going into flower very soon. I just can't remember what it's called. Veronicastrum? Not sure. Oh, and let's not forget about the digitalis. Of course, this is a highly poisonous plant, so do take a bit of care with that one. But here, I think the really nice thing about it is it seeds. It will flower after 2 years, won't flower the first year, after 2 years, and then it will die. And by then it should have seeded. Only issue here is that since I have mulched most of the years, I don't have that many of them anymore, and that is a shame. So yeah, I'll see what I can do about that, but at least there are still some here. The valerian, of course, also seeds. And I think the nice thing about these two plants is that it doesn't matter that much that it seeds around, because they're easy to pull up. As soon as you remove a digitalis, it will be gone. And the same goes with the valerian. If you pull it up, it will be gone, and hence they are easy to forgive. I think the valerian sort of weaves better, you know, doesn't invade too much on other plants, while the digitalis can sometimes form quite a big mound, and that can be a bit of an issue. But I will forgive that plant anytime. Yeah, and when looking at this garden, quite often I look at the individual plants, but let's try to just look up and pan back. Now, that is where we came from, and overall I do like how it looks. The grass path here is 2 meters wide. I have a rather large or rather wide path because quite a lot of my plants spill over it. And also, if there are more people in the garden, I like that you can pass by each other without any issues. So yeah, that was a quick pan of how it looks if we look back. Yeah, and I will extend the path here, and it will continue. Yeah, you can see the line. It will continue along this line, but with the same width going forward. and it will hence come up to the window over there. And when you look out that window, you look straight down the grass path. And these two columns on either side, yeah, these sticks represent trees. I'll have a similar tree on each side of the path. And I think that will look really good, and it will also provide some shade during the evening. Also, the stick in there will become a tree as well. I have one that I will move there. The two others are new purchases. And originally I had a tree right in the grass here. And as you can see, that is now gone, and I am patching up the lawn using the lawn that I gained from this. And yeah, you can basically see the patches lying around right there. Yeah, I think next up we'll take a quick visit to the meadow. Yeah, this is the other side of the house. Here I have my take of a meadow. The soil here on this side of the house is not very good. It contained a lot of sand. As when they built the house, they created this really large sand pillow. And the issue is that the grass that was here originally was always looking yellow in summer. And yeah, you can see down there. Here it doesn't get the same amount of light. Yeah, just look at that. That is looking really good. And that will flower for, I think, at least the next 2 months or so with various flowers. And what I did here, originally I sowed out 2 seed mixes. I think one of them was a turf line to get some grasses in, and those were mound forming grasses, and also it contained quite a lot of perennials, not all of which really belong in a meadow, but yeah, I think they look quite good anyhow. And the other mix that I sowed in was a wild Danish seed mix, basically. So that contained a lot of native flowers. And after that I had some personal favorites that I wanted to go in. And yeah, that seed mix, strangely enough, didn't contain this yellow flower. That is a very common meadow flower here in Denmark. So I had to purchase that separately. Also, we have a wild carrot. Yeah, the wild carrot is not invasive in Denmark, but I believe it is in other countries. But here it's a native, so I sowed those in as well. Yeah, spotting those is kind of hard right now because they aren't in flower yet. But they should go into flower later. Also, of course, this is a competition, so who survives in here? I'm not sure if the carrots are gonna make it in the long run. Also, I have a shrub in here. This, yeah, doesn't look like much, but it will become quite tall, and it supports a yellow butterfly that we have here in Denmark. Yeah. So that concludes the meadow for now. Also, yeah, there was actually a bit of meadow in the May video as well at the very end. So do check that one out if you want. Yeah, thank you for watching, and do subscribe and like if you want. Yeah, bye bye.